busy polishing her fingernails right now. Yes, we do, because they in here with us, so they want to know what's going on, dog. You know what it is, though. It is he say, she say, live on your dial right this moment. It's your boy, the Hood Howard Stern, Q Lewis, holding it down from 6 Mile to the Mile High. Got the lovely, beautiful Miss Coco J in the building.
What up, though?
What up, y'all? Yo, we got all audio today. We ain't got no video, but it's all good. Y'all just got to listen to our voice and look at the picture. You know what I'm saying? And listen to her paint her fingernails. Probably, she might get her toenails in a minute, too, because she's trying to be sexy.
Anyways, happy Friday, y'all.
For sure, man. Happy Friday, y'all. Of course, you know it is Social Media Friday, so make sure you hit us on Instagram and Twitter. Hit up my girl at Hey It's Coco J, and of course myself at Hood Howard Stern. Also check out the podcast networks, Instagram at eBlock Radio. All right, so hit us up on Instagram there as well. But it is Friday, man. It's been a long 7 days since the last. No, actually 14 days. Cause we wasn't in effect last week. That's right. Wow. Shout out to Callie, her birthday party last week that her mama didn't make it to until it was over. But it's all good though. Shout out to Damien. What up, though? Just in case you out here listening, you feel me? But yeah, we've been gone for 2 weeks, man. What's going on with you?
Same old. You know, life.
That's it?
Life.
That's all? I mean, not that life ain't important enough, but
just.
All right, man. That's too much there.
Just out here being blessed, you know.
Oh, that's what's up. Being blessed. Ain't nothing wrong with being blessed.
Yeah, just you know, the kids, work,
yeah.
School, homework.
For sure.
I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for the rest of my life.
That was major. I didn't think it was going to get that deep. I thought you was going to talk about some Netflix or something, but okay. Trying to figure out your life. That's what's up.
I might get an idea from Netflix. Who knows?
Hey, you never know, man. Shout out to Netflix. Changing niggas' lives one flick at a time, right? Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, nothing much. Like you said, I went to my little niece first birthday party. She turned 1 year old.
Yep. Shout out to Callie. 1 year old. 1 year old. That's the way you say it in the hood. 1 year.
Right.
12 months.
What else?
I don't know. You tell me. This is your part.
I don't know. Nothing, other than that, we went out. Last weekend? I hung out with my sisters and my cousin and my brother-in-law.
Shout out to the Jacksons.
And my soon-to-be brother and sister-in-law. Right?
I don't know. What you talking about? I don't know who you're talking about. I have no idea.
No, would they be mine? Okay, I'm mixed up. Dan's son and his sister. So that would be
nobody to you.
Nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
Okay.
that would just be his kids.
well, my sister, Shiny, sister-in-law and stepson.
Yeah, stepson and
so anyway,
sister-in-law.
We all hung out
that wouldn't be nothing to you though, but yeah.
Right.
Cool peoples, I guess.
Yeah. We all hung out last weekend, so that was fun.
That's what's up. Where did y'all go? Is that undisclosed information?
We went to Daysay.
Shout out to Daysay, man. Supposedly got the best wings in the city of Detroit. Not sure if that's true.
They good.
Are they the best in the city of Detroit?
I don't know.
All right, well, that's what I heard. That's what they keep saying. Of course, to me, I don't know. I've actually never had wings from there. I had some boneless wings, but I never had the actual regular wings. I haven't bought regular wings from anywhere.
They good.
Other than the Captain J's.
Definitely good.
They good. Okay.
Yeah. That's what they're known for.
Right. They said the same thing about Sweetwater too, right? But Sweetwater though, the wings they not that dope to me, man.
Yeah, they not. I think they say
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the plain ones or you get ones with like barbecue sauce? Like how that shit work?
Yeah.
I only had barbecue. Okay, I don't know. Well, so they was good though, right?
I didn't have them. I had a piece of. Well, I didn't have them this Saturday. I had just a couple from my little sister who had them. I had some
catfish.
Catfish nuggets.
I got
and they was good.
Yeah, shout out to Catfish in the building. You know what I'm saying?
But other than that was it. I've been chilling. Like I say, school, kids, work, homework.
I feel you. The same old rigmarole. But now it's the weekend though, right? So it's time to get physical.
It is the weekend.
It's time to get busy. For people that don't work on the weekends anyway. Shout out to my man Joe the Vet checking in. What up, fam? No, we ain't got no video today, bro, but we still out here though. We ain't gonna let the technical difficulties of the video hold us back. We getting down on the audio. Thank you for checking us out though, as always. You know what I'm saying? But so what else happening? That was it. What's going on Netflix, dog? We can't get all the way into Netflix yet because we got to talk about that later.
We watched a couple movies on Netflix. What was the last one? The movie.
The Drowning. The Drowning is the last thing we watched. All right.
Okay.
That was a crazy.
It was okay.
See, you had watched something before that about sleep paralysis. I didn't see that one though, right?
Which one?
Dead Awake or something.
Yeah. A movie called Dead Awake.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was basically, you know how you have, they call it the witch on your back.
Right.
It's a hag.
At least that's what black people call it. Is that what everybody call it? Okay.
But this movie was.
Is that
about,
black people thing?
I don't know, but this movie was in particularly about. It was actually somebody coming for them, killing them in their sleep.
Oh, like it was really happening. Like
it was really happening. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was very interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't watch that one though. Yeah. So while we on the subject, real quick, people out there listening, if y'all listening right now, have y'all ever had the witch ride your back or what they call sleep paralysis? Anybody who's ever experienced that, man, hit me in the comment box. Let me know what their experience was like. Now, all of us, I think, everybody I know has had an experience. I'm sure you had one, Coco J. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was that shit like though? And when was the last time?
Oh, it's been a while. Thank God. But
I know,
it's
right?
Like you can't. You walk, but you cannot move.
Yeah.
So every time that it happens to me, I just start praying.
Dog, I swear to God, that's the same thing I do every time.
And I'm just
praying
like,
to Jesus.
And I be trying to get up, and I'm like, well, I can't move. And I just pray.
Yeah.
Lord.
Now, sleep paralysis though is like it's what it is, but it's some people that really like live with that like a lot, like more than one time, a year or something. Cause like for me, it hasn't happened in some years, and I ain't trying to talk up on it, so it happened again this evening. But yeah, it's something that happens to some people like a lot. So if that was my case, like if that was the case, like often, like maybe 4 or 5 times out the week, though, I think that shit would.
Time to go see a doctor.
That shit would make you crazy though. At some point though, every night you go to sleep though, is that fear that that's gonna happen.
That means it's time for you to go confess, go to church.
Right, right. Get them sins up off. Cause you doing so wrong. I ain't gonna lie. If the witch riding your back every night, dog, like something is wrong. Like you definitely doing something illegitimate. Right. But anyway, we're gonna leave that at that. Sleep paralysis, man, that ain't no joke. What else you seen on there though? So we saw that. Saw the Drowning. I think I haven't really looked at nothing else though. I finished looking at Disjointed, the little weed web series. All right, I checked that out. So that was good. I think that was really about it until we get to what we're talking about later. So, all right. So you went to Callie's birthday party, watched a little Netflix.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it for you. All right, that's what's up. Oh, me, nothing too much, man. Just like you said, the same old, kind of same old. Of course, trying to make our dreams do what they do, of course, because that's what we're doing every day of our lives, is striving to get to that next level. And everybody that's listening right now, hopefully y'all doing the same thing. And it is Friday, so make sure that you get your party on tonight, too. Even if you got to work on the weekends, it's okay, because today is still Friday, so you need to go ahead and get it in. But for me, not really too much. I did. Or
you can go read a book.
You can read a book, too. And actually, it's funny, because that's what I was about to get into. Something that we saw last night had we're gonna get into that in a minute, but had Trevor Noah on there, and I actually want to read Trevor Noah's book. All right, so I can't remember the name of it, but I ain't go front on you though. Anybody out there listening that knows Trevor Noah is the comedian, but he's a host on the Daily Show. All right, so at first I ain't gonna lie, when I first heard of him, when I first seen him a few times, I was like, dog, this dude is corny. Like I was like, dog, I can't really vibe with this. But then when I saw his interview on the Breakfast Club, like it's weird because once you interview a person and then you hear like their actual story, it gave me a different vibe about it. I mean, like this dude come from apartheid South Africa, dog. So, I mean, apartheid, if you chiming in right now and you listening and you know a little bit about apartheid, I don't know the whole thing about apartheid, but I know it was like, it was some ill shit. Like the government really had them on lock over there. So he came up in apartheid time, and his old man was white. Not sure what nationality he was, but he was white, and his mom was black. I mean, they was in a area where basically to see his dad, they would have to act like they wasn't together, because otherwise they would take the kid, because that shit was just like in apartheid times in South Africa, it wasn't happening. So like to see his dad, he would have to be like across the street walking and act like they not together. And he said the weird thing about it is that he was reared that way, so for a long time he thought that shit was normal. Like he thought like every kid walked with their mama and the daddy walked across the street. Like he just didn't know. Like, and that's crazy about that's real life though. That's any ethnicity. At some point it's a lot of stuff in our own childhoods, like just being African American, that we felt was normal. Right. Until you get older and then you see how shit's supposed to be like, oh, that's not how we were supposed to do it. Like that's crazy though, right? And it's not. Now in his case, it was the government control. In our case, it's just kind of like it's the society. It's just the community we live in. Like we just didn't know no better. So that's crazy.
Is that what you call brainwashed?
To a certain degree, I guess you can look at it like that. Yeah, to a certain degree. Yeah, you can kind of look at it that way. I hadn't actually thought about it like that, but Coco J, thanks a lot for putting that brainwashing thing in my head. But yeah, I mean, definitely you could look at it like that. And it's brainwashing by accident, though. And the only reason I say that is because people are being taught how to live by their own past experiences. Yeah. So it's kind of by accident.
It's also because that's what we know. Growing
right.
up, survival. You know, we
right.
never.
And that's why I say it's an accident.
Learning anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like real animal instincts, though. Like the crazy thing, and we gonna get off of this before it get too serious, though. But in real life, black people really do live on a survival element. Now, that's because we were forced to, and unfortunately, it seemed like we haven't civilized to the point where we don't understand that it's not always just survival. I mean, at the bare essentials of humanity, I mean, that's what humans do. Like you fight to live. Like that's basically what you do. But it's like that's what we do every day. And that's right. You shouldn't know.
And that's living in the box, right? Step outside the box. Step outside.
How scary is it to step out the box when generations have been doing it?
I mean, you just gotta be fearless about it.
Yeah, that's easy to say.
Yeah, I know it's easier said
very
than
easy
done,
to say, right?
But once we realize that, it started to come to that
realization. Yeah.
Come get to that point in our lives, then you know then that's when we can be like, well, damn, what took me so long to step outside my box, step outside my comfort zone, and it happens. Hopefully, everyone
eventually
will get to that point in their life. So.
I think eventually it happens for most of us. But the scary thing about our community anyway is that eventually we figure it out, but then we don't want to tell nobody else. Like we don't want to bring nobody else along. Like we figured out, like damn, we don't tell nobody else because like if I get out, then I better keep this a secret. I mean, it's a lot of black people like that.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I think that's what you call being selfish.
Yeah, crabs in a barrel.
But you always, when you figure it out, I'm going to say, when you figure out what your purpose is, because everybody got a purpose. Yeah. And that's, you're only going to find a purpose when you step outside your comfort zone, right. Step outside the box. And going along with it, you're going to need some kind of help.
And it's just kind of, we talking about this still, but like I guess it's not on an as serious note, but then kind of serious though. Like everybody's purpose, is it possible? I'm just asking because it's some people on Earth, you know. Like I don't want to be judgmental, but it's some people on Earth that realistically, I think everybody knows is kind of a waste of space, like on Earth. Like, is there anybody whose purpose is that? You think? Like, is it really people's purpose on Earth to be nothing, to be the void? In a situation, like you think that's possible, or you don't think God would ever do something like that?
You know,
I don't want to get too deep, but I'm just asking.
Yeah, and know a little bit about the Bible. Everybody has a purpose. God has a plan for everybody.
So there ain't nobody out here that's just purposeless, just like created to be in the way.
If they are, it's because they made that decision.
They made a decision, not because they were originally created that way. Okay, I was just thinking because you know, it's some people you be like, duh. Like especially, I mean, I did this, and I don't know about anybody else, but anybody who's lost a loved one or something like that, or even like a close relative, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, a wife. Whenever you lose somebody really close to you, I don't know if I'm the only one that does this. If you listen on Facebook Live right now, hit me in the comment box and let me know if you think this as well. But sometimes when you lose somebody that you felt like shouldn't have been gone, you start evaluating people that you feel like they might as well had just took them and shit because they kind of a waste of space. I know I did it. When my mom passed away, I thought of several people that I was like, damn, like the world probably wouldn't miss a beat if this person was gone.
I never thought about
it. You never thought that?
Never thought that.
I mean, whenever somebody gets taken where you think is not really their time, which obviously we don't know what each other's time or your own time is, but when it seems untimely, I mean, I've done it. I did it with my moms. I did it with my sister too. And that's probably an unfortunate thing. That's a hateful thing. And I mean, at some point during that beginning, I'll admit it to say, I know a lot of Christians won't want to say it, but I'll admit it, is that Originally, I was pissed. I was angry at God. Like, I don't know how many people you can...
Yeah, we all go through there.
Yeah, you go through that little period. So during that period where I was angry at God, I started thinking about the few people where I knew in my head anyway. I mean, obviously they're important to somebody. But to me, it felt like they had no value on earth. Like, they could have just took them instead. Like, I thought that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But that's
just
what,
being honest.
and that's what we need to understand. That everybody has value. But
Yeah.
it takes that one person to realize it.
Yeah.
It takes that individual to realize it. And until they realize it, then they're going to continue to do the shit that we think is
Unnecessary. Just unnecessary,
you know
to be
what I'm saying?
sucking up oxygen. Yeah, okay.
We may think that, but
But somebody thinks it is.
you know
Or,
what I'm saying? That, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
somebody
somebody's
thinks
cousin, father, dad, mama,
daughter. Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? They just haven't
Sorry.
found it themselves, and they may not never find themselves. But I'm not going to say that they don't have a purpose. They
Well,
just
I said it, and I take it back now. I mean, after the fact, but originally, essentially, I was pissed off at the beginning,
and that's understandable.
and I counted off about 4 or 5 people that I felt like, yeah, you know, like the world probably wouldn't be no worse and probably would be better. You know what I'm saying? And no, Donald Trump wasn't one of them. But I'm just saying, like, that's up for debate. But anyway, all right, so moving right along, dog. Just to get back on the Netflix tip real quick before we get into our for real topic, we did watch the Def Jam 25-year reunion. Shout out to the people that's on Facebook Live right now. If you did check out the Def Jam 25, hit me in the comment box. Let me know what you thought about it. I thought it was great.
Oh my God!
I thought it was great.
It was, yeah.
I mean, I think
really
for one, it's phenomenal to see. Like for me, anyway, it was. I wish they could have got Chris Tucker to come on. That would have set it off. But it was phenomenal to me to see D.L. Hughley, and I'll even say Steve Harvey. You know what I'm saying? Steve Harvey, all the kings of comedy with Dave Chappelle on it. And I think for me, Dave Chappelle is a wild card. And I don't know about y'all. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't really, maybe didn't jump on the Chappelle show bandwagon. That was my shit though. But to me, and I'm going to say this, and people out there listening, if you don't agree, you can hit me in the comment box and let me know what's up. But I think I ain't even going to say between. I'm going to say that Dave Chappelle is the closest politically to Richard Pryor that we ever had. Somebody who's able to, who's able to do that comedy and make judgment about America and still make it funny though. Him and Chris Rock. I give him Chris Rock. Him and Chris Rock are... you don't like Chris Rock, I take it, because I see the look on your face. I love Chris Rock. I think they got kind of the same comedy.
Stuck with Richard Pryor.
Well, we talking about Dave Chappelle now anyway. But yeah, I think Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock are similar, to be honest. But you don't really like Dave Chappelle, though, I guess, right?
I like Dave Chappelle. He's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, him and Chris Rock are similar as far as what they talking about. You never really.
What they talking about, but I don't think Chris Rock is funnier, or I don't think.
No,
he's funny at all.
I don't think that. I mean, I'm gonna put it out there, cause I love Kevin Hart too. I love Kevin Hart, dog. But I'm gonna put it out there, dog. At this point that I know of, ain't nobody funnier than Dave Chappelle. To me, I mean that's my thing. Nobody I know is funnier than Dave Chappelle.
Between Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle is he's progressing in his art. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Hart is.
Yeah.
He's doing more things with his comedy.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
As far as him being a comedian.
Being a comedian, because now he's not only a comedian, he's a comedic actor. So
right.
Yeah.
So not only, I'm not saying that Dave Chappelle is funny. I mean, Kevin Hart is funnier than Dave Chappelle. But he's just...
No, he'd be the first one to tell you. He said it. He said it. They've all went to Dave Chappelle concerts. Or not concerts, but like been in the comedy club while Dave was just like fucking around, trying to try some jokes. And they all admitted, like even Chris Rock said, like, dog, after they watch him, they balling their shit up, like, damn, like this nigga the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that takes a lot. The only person you already know what I'm gonna say. The only person I think was funnier than Dave Chappelle was Bernie Mac. Oh, and Bernie Mac ain't here, dog.
I thought you was gonna say Martin Lawrence.
No, Martin Lawrence is funny. But that's my dude. Like, and I love the Martin Show. Shout out to the Martin Show. But yeah, Bernie Mac. That's the only one I think was probably funnier than Dave Chappelle. Only because now on that respect, I don't think he ever really got political.
Who, Bernie Mac?
Yeah, but Bernie Mac should hit home so hard. Like everything he talked about, you could understand it. Like even though you couldn't understand what he was saying half the time. You knew what he was talking about, though.
He always my motherfucker.
Duh, I'm telling you. But you knew exactly what he was talking about every time. Like you could relate. And I think he the closest one. Probably, and I think he probably is to a degree. I think he is funnier than Dave Chappelle. And at this point, I mean, obviously we won't ever know because he passed along. So they gave him a tribute.
We do know now.
Yeah. I mean, but Dave Chappelle still got more though. So you just never know. Like he still got more.
That ain't gonna change it. He's still funnier.
I feel you. So anyway, so they gave Bernie Mac a little tribute.
Right. They played a tribute to Bernie Mac, which I got teary-eyed.
Yeah.
I love Bernie Mac. I was
Bernie Mac was the shit.
I was hurt when he passed.
Yeah, Bernie Mac was the shit for sure.
They gave him a tribute.
Yeah.
It's like I'm saying that so hard.
What, tribute?
Tribute. I can't say that word.
Yeah, tribute. You said it.
Tribute.
Yeah.
I gotta concentrate while saying it. But anyway, that was cool.
Yeah. Now, and this is kind of how we got to our subtopic, just real quick, because we were talking about Dave Chappelle. I mean, about Bernie Mac. And I watched the Bernie Mac show religiously still on the Bounce Network because they show all of them. And I think I've seen all of them. Them and Martin, I think I've seen all of them. But the thing was, I seen an episode a few times about him and Wanda when they first met and how he used to do comedy on the L train. That's kind of like how they met or whatever. So I don't know how fictitious that is. That that may be a falsehood there. But the reality is that he did actually, like, he used to do jokes on the L train. And I think a lot of people during their climb to fame or whatever, success or whatever you want to call it, has that point of struggle, like where they really grinding in, they not bringing in no money. So that's kind of what our subtopic is real quick before we get to our for real topic. And we just kind of want to know, like, how long would you support your mate's dreams if they not really materializing, like they not really bringing in money? Because I know there's a lot of people, man. There's a lot of people who are stars now who was nothing before. Like just earlier I was looking at the Harry show, Harry Connick, and my man Harry Connick, the singer, he got the TV
Harry
show.
Connick.
That's his name, Harry Connick.
I thought it was Connick. I mean, Connick.
It is.
I thought it was Harry Connick.
No, it's Connick. Harry Connick Jr. though. Yeah. So yeah, you might be talking about the other Harry. But anyway, Jesse Smollett was on there, right? The dude from Empire, and he was talking about all the basically all the bullshit jobs that he had coming up to being able to sing and be an actor or whatever. And it's that period where people like who made it now, they was nobody before. Like the struggle was really real, like in real life. But I just want to know, like for you, dating somebody whose dream like is show business or whatever it may be, chasing that dream sometimes does compromise the income. Like how long would you stick with somebody chasing their dream who wasn't bringing no money to the table? Like bills ain't getting paid, shit falling off, but you living on that optimism.
You know what? In that situation, I would have to say, if I'm dating someone and they're chasing their dream, and you see the effort that they're putting into it, I mean, you can't really help but support. You know what I'm saying? If this is what they want, because that's how shit happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Shit don't happen overnight. Shit don't happen overnight. At least we all should be aware of that anyway.
Right.
As far as when it comes to the income, if y'all two had that discussion, like, baby, I want to do this, I want to do that, and y'all two have an understanding, that's what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's just a bullshit ass, well, you know what? I ain't even gonna say that.
Because you said it already, though.
I'm gonna take
you said it already.
Taking it back. Because I can't call nobody's dream bullshit.
I would hold that.
So I'm gonna take that back.
Right.
But if it's something that, I can't even give an example. I can't think right now as far as what, to where you say, you know what, hell no, I'm gone. Yeah. Kind of dream.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I don't have a dream in particular, but you remember the honeymooners, right? Like, so let's skip the old honeymooners from the 50s or 60s, whenever it was. But remember they did the remake, right, with Gabrielle Union and Cedric the Entertainer. Now he had some bullshit dreams though, like
I can't remember.
He had a whole bunch of them though that failed. Like he tried to sell some Mets gear and they ended up not winning and shit. Like he spent all their savings on a box of team jerseys and shit that they didn't win. Shit like that. Like stuff like that. She had got to the point where she didn't want to do that shit no more.
Right. So when you go, so that's another. So that's one example.
Mm-hmm.
When you go from one dream to the next, one dream to the next, one dream to the next. When that first one failed and the second one failed, and you go have another ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm seeing that this is what my man is passionate about, this one thing, just because you have one failure and you keep trying at the same thing, I'm going to support you because this is what you do. This is what you want to do, and I see that you're good at it. So I'm going to support you, help you in every way I can. The struggle might be real for a minute, most definitely. But then, do you give it a time frame?
And that's what I'm asking, because that's not necessarily fair either, though. And the only reason I say that is because most entrepreneurs, most people who own businesses, understand that only 15%.
I would have to say, while pursuing your dream, you have to get a job. No, seriously.
No, but it's
because life still happens while you're trying to pursue this dream and this dream.
But the reality too is you can't serve two masters. You would never be able to completely submit to what your dream is. I mean, is that safe to say?
You're gonna have to figure it out because once again, bills don't stop, rent don't stop. It happens.
But those bills and that rent not stopping, it shouldn't deter you from going full steam ahead. And the only reason I say that is because
I'm not saying that it don't stop.
But you can't go full steam ahead if you trying to work a regular job and follow your dream. It's tougher. It's tougher. So
who said it will ever be easy?
I mean, it's not easy, but if you were able to dedicate more time, for instance, just us in general, if you were able to dedicate more time to what you were passionate about, obviously it would be easier than trying to do that and work a 9 to 5.
The bill still has to be paid. I understand the dream and what you really want to do, but at the same time, guess what? Things has to be paid. We're not living on this earth for free.
I mean, we live on the earth for free.
I mean, I'm saying
you're not living in your house for free.
However you want to put it.
Right.
However you want to put it.
No,
but at the same time, I understand and I'm going to support you 100%. But at the same time, some income needs to come in. Yeah. Now, if your woman got a good ass job, and now if it's 10 years and shit, and almost 10 years, and you still ain't got no income, hold on, baby, something ain't right. You got to get a job because, for one, I'm the type of chick.
If you waited 10 years and he had no job, there's something wrong with you.
Exactly.
There's something wrong with you. If you waited 2 years,
but
and
I'm
got
just saying that's just a number I just threw out. Even 5 years though.
Yeah. Even 1 year.
You gotta step it up, baby.
Right.
Either you doing something wrong, or you gotta get a job and figure out what you're doing wrong.
So you're doing some wrong shit,
I'm just saying, you gotta try to juggle it both. Both.
I mean, so speaking of paying bills, all right, we're gonna get into our for real topic. Everybody who check us out right now on Facebook Live, man, make sure you hit us in the comment box and you can comment on the for real topic today. Right now, we talking about paying bills. Most specifically, we talking about paying the rent. Is that the man's obligation? Rent or mortgage, because some people actually do own a house, some people renting, but still, is the paying the bill that allows you to live under your roof. Is that the man's obligation in full? That's what we want to know. If you're on Facebook Live right now, hit us in the comment box. Let me know what you think. Ladies, I want to definitely hear what y'all got to say about this. But Coco J, is the rent specifically the man's thing to do?
You know, speaking for me, this is my say on this. I would say, you know what? I would say it's that's a thin line between that one. And I say this because if you met a woman, I mean, if you as a woman, if I met a man and I already have already got my stuff going, you have kids and blah blah blah,
whatever, yeah.
And then you meet this guy and y'all hit it off and y'all kicked it for a while, and say for example if he comes into your life and y'all decide to move in together and into the house that you already have,
right?
I expect for him to I expect for him to I can't even it's hard for me to say I expect him to pay the whole mortgage because this was where I was at anyway from the beginning, and I'm not gonna depend on that person to make sure my rent or mortgage is paid.
Right.
To keep a house under the, to keep a roof under our head for me and my kids.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of hard. But yeah, I expect you, at that point, I expect you to help the majority of it. Because I feel as a man, that is, that's part
that's your obligation.
As a man, that's part of your job.
All right. So you saying, so the question is, do you feel like the rent or the mortgage is the man's obligation? So basically you're saying yeah. I mean, just so we clear.
We are a team. Now, I don't see anything wrong with splitting bills. No, but as far as when it comes to the mortgage and the rent, I think solely on the dude.
That's how you feel. All right. Now, is that do you think that's a old school method, or you think that's just don't have nothing to do with time?
I think that's old school because nowadays these females don't have no sense. So they will have a dude playing a video game all day and not paying shit. They taking care of the dude.
Right. Shout out to the niggas that's playing 2K18 right now. Why you listening to our show?
I'm just saying.
You telling him to be quiet because you try to hear the show.
I would have to say that. I think that's pretty much old school. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they want to say, probably some females, I may depend on, I pay my own rent. But baby, when you got a dude living with you, come on, let that dude be a dude.
Yeah.
And if he ain't doing his part, then you ain't got no man. Yeah. Don't be bragging because you're an independent woman when you got a grown ass man in your household ain't paying shit.
Now what if you make the most money out of the two? So let's say you make the most money and you pay the rent and he paying everything else.
Well, if that is the case and if that's something that has been discussed amongst ourselves, and he paying everything else, okay. Mm-hmm. It's just been switched around. But he's paying some bills or a rent or a mortgage. Yeah. I'm just saying. It don't even matter if it's towards rent, mortgage, or bills. Right. But he's doing something.
Well, we talking about the rent and the mortgage right now, though. So, like, if you making more money, I'm just saying, if you making more money, does your way of thinking as far as the rent and mortgage still remain the same?
Yeah, I just got more money to pay on the bills.
Oh, God damn. Yo, if you checking us out right now on Facebook Live, man, hit me in the comment box. Let me know what you think, dog. Should a man be responsible for the full mortgage or rent? So if you live in there. Now, I seen something on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week, I can't remember. But the question was, if a man moves in, if a man moves into a woman's house, does that mean he's homeless? Did you see this?
If what?
If a man moves into a woman's house, does that mean that he's really homeless? Like you already had a crib and he moved in with you. Does that mean he's homeless? A lot of women said yeah. Surprisingly, a lot of women commented on that and said yeah.
Because he don't have his own.
Exactly. So this is my question to you: for the women who are making more money, or quote unquote,
for the people that's renting or owning homes.
Either way, mortgage or rent, it shouldn't make a difference.
If that's the case, we homeless. If the people that's renting, the ladies that's renting, they just renting this home right now. So
I mean, shit, mortgage is still basically rent. If you stop paying, they kick your ass out. They take the house, so it's still the same. Like that don't change. Okay. So what I'm saying though is it's yours though. You know what I'm saying? So my question goes back to this though. For the women who are dealing with the dudes who, aren't able to pay the rent or the mortgage or whatever, like, do you think that women do that for that sense of control to be like, at some point, I can tell you to get the hell up out of here and I have that manipulation over you? Or do you think some women are just so independent that they don't care about paying for everything?
I think some women have that mindset as being so independent to where they believe that you ain't got to do shit for me even if you stay here because I'm an independent woman. Yeah. And they got it twisted. You know what I'm saying? You can be independent as hell. Yeah. But once again, if you have a dude living with you, let that Negro be a dude. Let him be responsible for the rent Negro be a dude, mortgage.
But don't let that dude be a Negro.
That don't take your independence away. You know what I'm saying? As a woman, because independent meaning if he decide to walk away, you will be okay. Yeah. You will be fine. You won't even miss him.
I feel you.
Financially. So that's what independence means to me. So
I feel you. All right, so I mean, with that being said, I think what you're saying is, no matter what the income is, in your head, you really still kind of feel like basically it's still a man's thing. So you said even if you're making more money, you just got a couple more dollars.
Even though I may be making more money, I feel at some point it's that dude's responsibility to figure out a way as far as how to get that shit paid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying go and sell drugs and then you in jail or nothing. But figure it out.
Depending on how old you are. I'm just playing.
I'm just saying. Figure
Don't
it
sell
out.
drugs.
figure it out. And I'm sure. And I'm sure that dude can. Let that man going to be a man. If he, I'm just saying. Don't be so the ladies. Don't be so independent to where you taking that from that dude, and you not. And if you let him be a man and he still ain't providing or doing that, it's time for you to let him go.
And I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's some women out here who that's their personality. It's a lot of women and ladies. I'm sorry. Like I know this probably not gonna get a whole bunch of popular response, but women, I want to really be honest and say that there's a lot of women out here who, for whatever reason, this is their personality. Like, I don't even think they know how to deal with a man who does certain things for her or himself. Like, if you understand what I'm saying, there's a lot of women out here who they feel like in a relationship they need to be the provider. Like, it's a lot of women like that. Yeah, there's a lot of women out here like that.
And that's why I say I'm old school.
And I don't know where they got it from.
I'm old school.
But it is a lot of women like that.
I'm old school, but I'm not that old school to where, once again, if that man decided to walk out my life any day, guess what? I'm going to be okay. But I'm not going to be so independent to where I'm not going to let you do shit. No, I'm not even going to. No, it's not going down like that, baby.
Right.
Exactly. So, these women nowadays, they want to, they want this name for themselves. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Independent woman, and I take care of me and my man, and shit like that. Really? Yeah. You bragging, but no, not cool.
So you know what I'm saying? They do exist.
Yeah, I know they do exist. Unfortunately,
right. Where do you think they come from, though? Do they come from too many single mother households? Like, where do you think they come from?
That could be it, because me being a single mother, but I never had that mentality. Yeah. As far as me being so independent, I did what I had to do.
So what you're saying is you ain't gonna pay the rent? That's what you're saying?
It's not as long as a dude is in the house. No.
Well, that's what I'm asking. So you're not gonna
now
pay
the rent. If it just so happens to where if we've been together and he's been footing the rent, the mortgage, or whatever, and if something happened to his job, and it's cut, his salary is cut or something like that, then you know what, we're gonna work this out. I'm gonna help out with the rent or the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? Certain situations like that, yes.
Otherwise, nigga, you got a job, right? Damn, it's going down on Friday.
Otherwise, yes. And then as far as with the bills, you know what, baby? I got this bill. Then you know what I'm saying? Bills is kind of different. We kind of, for us, we kind of split them up. Yeah. So it's a little different for the bill.
Right, I feel you. Now, as far as the mortgage and the rent, I think what it is though is I think it's implied anyway that the man takes on this responsibility only because it's where you live, and for whatever reason, I guess it's just the human concept of it. But men are supposed to be the providers, so I think that's why in most women's minds and most men as well feel like that paying for where you live is the major thing. You know what I'm saying? Like any other situation, any of the other things that go on in the household, the bills, the groceries, shit like that, can be kind of split evenly or however you want to split it. It don't have to be even. But I think that for most of us, I think that where you live is the most important thing. Maybe even more so than a car note. Now this is gonna be a little different, so I'm gonna ask you that. What you think about that? Is that on the same level as mortgage? Like, do you expect the dude to pay for all the car notes too? Like, he got a car note and pay for yours and all that? Yeah, basically.
Well,
damn.
No.
I see what we got going on here.
I did not say anything. Hold on. Now,
I see what we got going on.
It all depends on the income. If you know your man's income and you know whether he can afford it, why not?
Yeah.
if you know he can't afford it, it'd be a struggle, because that struggle, if that dude is living with you, that struggle is not only going to be on him, but it's going to be within the entire household.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I know that struggle is going to affect me, period, anyway, within a household, then, you know what, baby, I can do the car note, or can you help me do the car note, or insurance, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be selfish like that, knowing that it's going to affect you anyway.
Right.
Because y'all
all in the same game.
In the same household.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. I mean, if you out here right now listening on Facebook Live right now, hit me in the comment box. Let me know what you think. Is the man responsible in full for the rent and the mortgage? Like, you had something to say. You got something to say?
I did, but I forgot my.
Okay. I
lost my train of thought.
I was gonna say, go ahead and say it. We want to know what you guys say. But if you out there listening, hit me in the comment box. We will read your comment out loud on the air. You know, live on a Friday night. You feel me? So I'm gonna agree with you. All right, because I hadn't actually gave my opinion yet. So I agree with you. I think that it's the man's thing to pay the rent or the mortgage, and I say that only because of life experience. Like, my mama ain't never paid the rent or the mortgage or whatever they had, or they had a mortgage at that point.
I'm sorry.
You know what you was gonna say?
Okay,
well, go ahead and say.
Sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But I was just gonna say,
that's
just like if you was out on your own and you had your own little spot. You would be paying your little rent or mortgage, right? So what would be the difference of doing that monthly?
I mean, you would too. So I don't know. You can't really use that as an argument.
No, I'm just saying. Of course we would do it, but do you feel as a man that would be your job if y'all live? You know, y'all are living together.
Well, yeah, that's always been my thing. And to be quite honest, to be transparent while we're on the air and shit. The reality of it is that I even had a problem with that whole situation. As you recall, my idea in my head was it was always strange to me, and like, no disrespect, because obviously I went against that grain, but to me in my head it was always strange to move in with a woman anyway. Like, in my head I always felt like, you know, I needed to have my own thing and then move you into my shit. Like, that was always in my head, because it never, like, and we've had this conversation plenty of times before where I was uncomfortable with the whole idea. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really know about that. I don't know about moving in with a woman. Like, to me, it didn't sound right.
Did that take away from your manhood or something?
It felt like a little bit. It felt like a little piece. You know what I'm saying? Like a little, a little inkling. It kind of did, yeah. So, and I think that just comes from, you know, your upbringing. If you were a product of a single parent home, if your mom ran the household, then it wouldn't feel as odd. But if you come up in a 2-parent household, with a father in the household who paid the mortgage and paid the rent, then it seems odd. It's all about your experience, I think.
I guess, yeah.
So for me, yeah, it was weird, and I was like, at first, I was like, I don't know, because it don't seem right. Like, it just don't seem right. But at the same time, I mean, it's a lot of dudes that do it, and originally I fought it. Like, I fought it a long time, because it's like it didn't seem like the right thing. Like, it just always felt like and I think it's just from experience, but it just always felt like it was the wrong thing to do.
But you know how I'm going to base this once again. I have always said this from the beginning of the show when we first started the He Say She Say. It's all about the communication that you two have. Right. You know what I'm saying? If y'all have an understanding of communication throughout that relationship, as far as what is what, it is what it is. Right. So,
I feel you. I mean, but do you like being a single parent? So let's just look at the role reversal. You don't mind if we get a smidgen personal? Is it okay? I mean, just from your upbringing, like I just mentioned, I was blessed and lucky basically to grow up in a 2-parent household. Which, by the way, I mean, just to be completely honest, a lot of times 2-parent households don't be as good as single-parent households, depending on what your parents was like. I'm just saying, right? So in your case, you came up in a single-parent household. Like, does that change your idea about that whole thing? Like, does it change your mindset about that whole having a man move in with you as opposed to moving in with your man?
It doesn't. The only thing that I can see it was change as far as what would make it a little different is screaming the independent thing. Because my mother had 11 kids.
Okay.
So I'm the second oldest. So it was just always my mama and us.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like she was definitely the head of the household.
Right.
So it was she did what she had to do.
Right.
You know, to keep a roof over our heads, food on the table, clothes on our back, shoes on our feet, whatever.
Right.
And I think that's where I get that from.
That hustle from.
That exactly. Yeah. So, but then again, like I'm not gonna be that independent if and eventually
if a dude want to take care of you.
Eventually, if a dude came, and eventually she had a dude come into her life, but I kind of turned my nose up at it a little bit, like what is he doing? But at the same time, that's where I was like, okay, that's not gonna happen. Yeah. I kind of learned from it, turn my nose up a little bit at it. Okay. But at the same time, I learned from it. Like I'm not gonna scream so much independence to where I got a dude. We stand together, and I'm not gonna make him do nothing.
You're so independent, he might as well not be there.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah,
so I'm not going there. If we together and we stand together, guess what? This is not all on me. Right. I'm independent as hell. You goddamn right. But guess what? If a dude stay with me, you better believe he either paying a rent, mortgage, bills, whatever. And I ain't saying going out there to watch the car every one time a week, two times a week, taking out the garbage and shit. I'm talking about actually paying something.
Hey, keeping the car clean and taking out the garbage are important.
No, I'm talking about bills.
Oh, okay.
Because if those ain't kept up, he can't go out there and run the water. He ain't got no driveway to wash the car.
Well, depending on where you're at, it might be a parking lot. Maybe you live in an apartment.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm saying it might be an apartment. You never know. Like people live in apartments. It's okay. But
it's rent there, shit.
Yeah, it's rent everywhere. It's rent everywhere you stay. But I think we are in agreement on that though. And like I said, I think we've had a conversation before, and like I said, we having a conversation with y'all because y'all in our conversation basically. So my thing was, for me, help is cool. Help is always cool, just because help is good.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, I know that the reflection of a relationship, I think, though, is kind of the control. I don't want to say control. Maybe the command that the man takes over a relationship as far as, I think the living space is probably the number one priority. To me, in my head, that's the thing. Yeah. Like, some things can be divvied up and not looked at as a full responsibility for anybody. Like, for instance, if, let's say, you paying, this bill this time, I catch it the next time. Something like that, but perhaps that don't really fall in the aspect of the rent. I mean, honestly, in our situation, there's been times before where I was short and I got it from you, then I just gave it back. Like it just felt weird. Like I didn't even want it. Like let me get them couple dollars and then I'm gonna get it back to you though.
But you know what? That's why I say communication is everything. If you know that your man has paid rent, been paying rent, and some shit didn't happen, and you gotta communicate it. And y'all have to be a team. We have to be a team. You know what I'm saying? And if you're struggling, just at that one time or a couple times, a few times or whatever, communicate that. You know what? We a team,
right? Because
we both living here, so you know what I'm saying. The shit gotta get paid. So okay, let's talk about what needs to be done, and we come together and we get that shit paid.
Right.
But on the bigger picture. The man.
The man.
Is responsible.
The man.
Should be responsible.
Right.
I'm just saying.
You want to say that any closer to the microphone.
And that's a team. That's still a team. Because guess what? The bills are split up. The lady is taken care of. Yeah. Especially, okay, so when it's kids, doing getting what the kids need and all that. And, it's just, I think it's a team effort.
Yeah, I think
and if it's a problem, paying it, you got to communicate that shit to where y'all can come together and get that shit paid.
Right, but I'm gonna tell you this too though, because there's a lot of women out here like this too. So fellas, don't be intimidated by your woman. All right, so and this is what I mean by that. There's a lot of women out there where dudes may fall on hard times, and there's a situation where things can't be covered, and she have to help you out or whatever. But there's some women who really hold that shit over your head though, and that makes you feel less than a man. That's what's the word? Emasculating. All right. So that's pretty emasculating, and there's some women out here who get off on that. And I'm gonna tell you why though. This is why I think.
I said communication. Communicate that shit then.
Yeah, communication ain't shit when a woman's dead set like that. And the only reason I say that is because there's some women out there, and this is just my hypothesis. All right. So I'm not sure if this is true, but there's a lot of women out there who have been. I want to use some scientific words, but I'm just going to use the hood shit that I know. There's a lot of women out here who just fucked up in the head from the last cut dude or the dude before that or all 5 of them put together that's then did something to their psyche where they feel like in order to feel the power over that man in that relationship, they have to demean him like that. And a lot of women look for those opportunities. They exist. And I know a lot of women probably... Like, a lot of women don't want to hear that because they feel like there's so many dudes out here that's dogging women and taking advantage of the situation.
Do you think they do that to motivate their man?
A lot of them is for themselves.
It's for themselves?
It's self-gratification. Yes. Some of them, yeah. Some of them, yeah, like, you know, if I get on this head.
Put them and they listen. Because sometimes a person only know what they're doing if somebody else bring it to their attention.
All right. So, Coco
I'm just saying.
So
no, seriously. I know some women out there.
I understand
I agree. There's women out there that, you know, the women that you're saying.
And you know the difference.
And I know sometimes a man or a woman even has to have that been heard through her ears or his ears.
Because you know
to realize, damn, he right. Damn, she right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hear that shit.
Sometimes. But you've known, you probably know some women right now, or seen some instances of women that you know right now where you was like, damn, she need to relax. Right? I'm saying, I know you know they're like, yo, she need to relax. Like, I don't know if she trying to motivate him, but that shit's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thin line between giving your man motivation or your woman motivation and trying to make them feel
inferior.
Yeah.
And a lot of women do that, and I don't think they know it though. I think that they've been put in an inferior situation so many times that they're. And I don't want to get all deep, but it's just like racism, though, right? Like eventually you start acting like your oppressor.
But you know what? Some women may think that's helping their man. Some men may think that's helping their woman because it's men that do it too.
Yeah, but they do it because they seen their daddy do it to their mama, and they thought that was the effective way to do it.
But I'm just saying that's just how they know.
Yeah.
About.
Right.
Once again, we going all the way back to the show, survival.
Yeah.
That's the survival mentality.
Yeah, it's a black people thing. It's a black people thing. Yeah. On that note, man, it's about that time to get up out of here, man. We get ready to go partay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to my man E. Beezy and Steph, man. We're about to catch up with y'all in about a couple hours now. We're about to step out for the evening. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to thank everybody who checked us out today on Facebook Live. And if you're checking out the replay right now, make sure that you do subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's E-Block Radio Podcast Network. Just type it in the YouTube and it will pop right up. You can catch all the replays at eblockradio.com. And of course, we are live every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And next week, we're going to be on video so you get to see our lovely faces. Or at least Coco J lovely face.
My pretty face.
Right. You get to see the lovely Miss Coco J, and then you get to see me.
my independent lovely face.
Right. Independent. You gonna pay the rent next month ass face.
I'm just playing, y'all.
Right. Yo, on that note, man, for real, I want to thank everybody for checking us out. Make sure you stay tuned in, man. Shout out to all the people who checked us out today. Share this, please, so other people can check us out. And until next week, man, you know exactly what it is. The livest relationship show on the planet. It is He Say, She Say with your boy, the Hood Howard Stern. Q Lewis holding it down from 6 Mile to the Mile High.
It's your girl, Coco J. Have a safe and blessed weekend.
That's right. Peace out, y'all. Peace.